welcome back to my channel, and then we're just gonna flow. We're just gonna flow. We're gonna just tell the story.
Hey guys, welcome back to her channel.
Yes. This is my friend Robert.
Hey guys.
And he's gonna help me today to tell you guys the story on how I found out I was pregnant. Alright, so we took a trip to San Francisco.
Mind you, we left at midnight.
Oh yeah, we did.
To avoid all that traffic.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And we got there like what? 5 in the morning?
5 in the morning, so we could go and check into our like Airbnb, you could say, type.
And it was such a fail, guys. Like, we seriously get there and we knock on the door and the guy's like, oh, but we live here. I'm here with my family. Like, what do you mean you're trying to stay here for like 2 days or something? And then we were like, oh, like, I guess we were trying to get scammed or something, you know? Like, what the heck? Good thing we never even gave, you know, the people the money. But it was crazy because straight up from there, it was like a fail. And then, not even kidding you, everything else, it was like a ripple effect. Like, everything else started becoming a fail. Like, looking for hotels was a fail. The freaking restaurant where we went to eat was nasty.
So
like,
disgusting.
I don't even know what else. Like, but it just kind of felt like everything was failing, honestly.
The kids were like
super hyper.
They were, but then like they were like wanting to like knock out, like for the fact that we came like at midnight, like to arrive at 6 in the morning, like they didn't have like a good sleep and everything.
Oh yeah.
So they were being a little like chilloncitos and everything.
They're like, no, let's go and sleep. And we were over here like trying to party.
Yeah, yeah.
But we couldn't. And then what? Saturday? Oh, that's the day that we went. Okay,
yeah.
So we were getting ready to go out, right? And then I just remember like Will saying, oh my gosh, like I forgot my belt. And I was like, oh, you know, like I could go with Robert to like Ross or something, or like find some kind of store where we can get you a
what were we looking for?
We were looking for his belt.
Oh, and a shirt. I needed a shirt.
And he needed a shirt, yeah. So we were like, oh yeah, like me and Robert are just gonna go. So then we go to the store and, you know, we're looking around. I find his belt, but he doesn't find a shirt or something like that.
I didn't find a shirt.
So then there was a Target there. So then he goes, oh, let's go to Target. Maybe I can find one there. So then we go. And then I was like, dude, I'm still feeling weird. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And then we go into the Target and he goes, oh my God, what if you get a pregnancy test? And I'm like, for what? Like, I'm not even pregnant. He's like, yeah, you are. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
I just only said that like because of like the symptoms she was having, like the effectos and everything was like, you're pregnant.
And the fact that I was like, maybe I shouldn't drink this. Like, I was like second guessing and like, I don't know, it's so weird. And so yeah, like he pretty much convinced me. I ended up getting this pregnancy test, right? And so that day I was like so nervous and I was like, oh my God, like I couldn't even breathe. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? Should I do it? Should I not? And anyway, pretty much. Like I wasn't late that much.
Like 3 days.
Yeah, like 3 days. I was like, oh, that's normal. It's happened before, whatever.
But then weren't you having like other like effects, like you said, like of your chichis, like they were like sore?
Tender, like I had like tender breath.
Ay, yo agarrándomelas como si yo tuviera.
Oh my God. Yeah, so I was just feeling like weird all around, right? So then I took the test and I was so nervous and he's waiting for me outside the Target bathroom and then I'm literally like freaking out and then I come out and I look at it.
No, you gave it to me to look at it and I was gonna tell you.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was gonna see it and then I was gonna tell you if you were like pregnant or not.
Yeah, so I come out and I give him the test because I didn't want to see it. That was the thing, right? Mm-hmm. So then I gave it to him and then I'm like, okay, let me know. And then he's like, okay, so he takes the test and then he's like, okay, you're not pregnant. And I'm like, whoo, like I dodged the bullet, right? Like I was literally like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So then we just went about our day, you know.
After that, what happened?
Oh yeah, and then right before going to the hotel, he goes, I'm hungry. And all of us had ate at the hotel because there was complimentary breakfast. but he didn't want to eat, so he was hungry. So he's like, hey, let's go to In-N-Out. And I'm like, well, I'm not hungry, but let's go. He's like, but don't tell anybody. I was like, all right, I won't. So then we go to the In-N-Out drive-thru, and he gets his food, and we're eating, blah blah blah.
Oh,
and then
you had the pregnancy test, like
yes.
you were carrying it, and like she was afraid to show Will. She's like, just don't tell him like I took a pregnancy test.
Yeah.
And mind you, she had bought in 2. Then
the box that had 2.
Yeah, and then the one that told you like pregnant or not pregnant, she's all like, keep
this one.
Yeah, keep this one, and then whenever I need it, just give it to me, but just don't show it to him or anything.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want him to think I'm crazy, like thinking that I'm pregnant and stuff or whatever. Like I don't know, I just didn't want him to think I was weird or something. So I was like, you keep the pregnancy test. Like I don't want it in my luggage. I don't want it around my stuff. Like you keep it. He's like, all right, cool. So then, we go to In-N-Out and everything. We go back to the hotel. We go about our day.
Where did I throw the pregnancy test?
After the drive-thru. In-N-Out. And then, yeah, pretty much we go about our day or whatever. And then the trip ends. And so then we end our trip on Sunday. We go back home. And on Wednesday, I didn't call you. I texted him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Robert, like I still haven't got my period. Like I'm scared. And then he's like, oh my God, we need to take the second test.
No, let's go.
He's like, no, let's do it. He's like, I'll pick you up. And I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, no, I'll pick you up. And then I was like, I'll pick you up. And he's like, okay, cool. So I pick him up. And then he goes, what if we do it the same way as we did it in San Francisco? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, let's go to Target. I'm like, for what? We already have the test. He's like,
you take it there. You go to the bathroom, you pee on the stick, and we'll find out from there. Once that's done, we'll go to In-N-Out.
And I was like, okay, I guess so. So that's what we did. We went to Target, and I took the test at Target, and then we went and sat in my car. I think you bought like gum or something so that it didn't look weird that we were just going in for nothing.
Yeah.
So he bought like gum or something, right? Then we go to my car, and my heart is literally like boom, 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 boom. Like I'm literally shaking. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Like, what am I doing? What if this is real? Like, I haven't had my period yet. Like, like, my nerves were so like, I don't know, out of control. So then I have the test in my hands, and I'm like, okay, I want to see it. He's like, no, I want to see it first. And he's like, we have to do it exactly as San Francisco. And I'm like, no, I want to see it first. He's like, no, I want to see it first. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, here you go. So I gave it to him. And he was about to open it. And I'm like, no. Wait. I was like, don't do it. I'm not ready. And then he's like, okay, fine. And then we kind of waited for a couple minutes. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And then he like opens it, and what did you say?
You're not pregnant.
No, that's not what you said.
And I was like, just kidding.
No, he opens the box, guys, and he's literally like, congratulations. And I was like, huh?
9:51, guys, was the time she found out. 9:51.
Yeah, and I literally went like this. I was like, you're so dumb, Robert. Like, I'm not pregnant. And then he's like, yeah, you are. And I'm like, no, I'm not. You're dumb. Stop pranking me. I literally told him, stop pranking me. And then he's like, I'm not pranking you. And then I'm like, whatever, it's fake. It's a fake test. I don't know why I said that, but I was like, it's a fake test. Like, that thing is lying. Like, if you're saying that it says positive, it's not true. And then he's like, no, it very much is true. And I didn't even know how to react. Like, I wasn't crying at first. I was just kind of like, yeah, freaking right. Like, that's not true.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't even want to see that test, whatever. I kind of gave him an attitude, huh?
Yes.
I was like, I don't even want to see that thing. And he's like, all right. And then like 2 seconds later, I was like, no, let me see it. And then he shows it to me. And then I see the big fat yes. And I was like, oh my gosh. That was crazy. And then I couldn't even cry, guys. Like, I was just like, what is going on? Like, is this real? The first thought that came to my head was, what the hell are people gonna think?
Yeah.
What the hell is my mom gonna say? What the hell is my dad gonna say? Like, I'm not gonna have friends anymore. Like literally, like I don't know, I went into this whole like weird mode, huh? Like I don't even know how to explain it. But anyway, so then we get over the moment a little bit and we're like, okay, let's go to In-N-Out. And at this time, Will was working out because he's a big gym junkie. So he was working out and I text him and I'm like, hey babe, I was like, do you want In-N-Out? He's like, no, you know I'm working out. And I was like, oh, well, too bad, we're getting you In-N-Out. I'm with Robert. And then he's like, well, I guess. I'm like, what do you want? So he gave me his order. We go to In-N-Out. And finally, like on the way to Will's house, that's when I started crying. Like, well, you started crying first. I started crying because he started crying, honestly. Like, I was not crying at all. Like, he started crying, and then I was like...
Very emotional.
I was like, why are you crying? And he's like, it's because it's so beautiful that you're pregnant. And I'm like, okay. It was so crazy. And I was like... And then I saw him crying, like, legitimately crying, and I was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. And I started crying like with him, and then we were both just like, oh my gosh, you know, being all emotional and whatnot. So then we get to Will's house and we put the In-N-Out like on his table, and him and Robert and Will start eating, and I'm just kind of like staring at my food, and he's like, what's wrong with you?
Aren't you gonna eat?
Yeah, like you're not gonna eat? And I was like, I'm kind of not hungry. He's like, then where the hell did you get food? And I'm like, well, because I was hungry, but now, like, I don't know, like, I just can't do it. And he's like, can't do what? And then I looked at Robert and my eyes got watery, and then his eyes got watery. And then I was just like, I don't know how to tell him. Like, I was freaking out. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. And, like, I don't know. So I told him, okay, I have to tell you something. And then he goes, what do you have to tell me? And he's like, you know, eating his In-N-Out or whatever. And I was like, I don't know how to tell you. And then, you want to know the first thing he said? He goes, did you smoke weed? Remember?
Yeah, he's just hanging out with me, really.
Yeah, because I'm hanging out with him. So he's like, did you smoke weed? And I'm like, no. What the hell's wrong with you? Like, I would not do that, right? And
then, like, he looked at me, and then he's like, what, fucker? Like,
yeah,
what did you do?
Yeah, he's like, what? Like, he was, like, trying to figure it out, right? And I was like, okay, fine, I'm just gonna tell you. And then he's like, okay, what? And I'm like, I'm pregnant. And he goes, no, you're not. And then I'm like, yes, I am. And then he's like, no, you're not.
Stop playing.
Yeah, he's like, what? How did he say? He's like, you guys are pranking me.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys need to stop pranking me. Like, he's like, just stop. Just tell me it's like not true already. I'm like, well, it is true. And he's like, well, if it was true, you would have came with the pregnancy test. And it was actually in my wallet. So I open it up and I take it out and I'm like, here you go. He's like, he takes it and he's like, really? And then he got all excited and then he's like, wait, really? Like, you're not messing with me? And I'm like, I'm not messing with you. And then he's like, oh my God, baby. He just like hugged me and then I cried and then he cried. Will didn't even cry, but he was crying, I was crying, and it was like, we were just happy. And then, like, I'll never forget that moment because he was like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Like, he's like, this is gonna take us to the next level, and you know, it's just gonna make us love each other more. And like, he's like, I'm here with you, I support you all the way. Like, I can't believe we're gonna have our own baby. Like, you know, it was just so exciting. He's like, now we just gotta pick up from here and move forward. And I was like, yeah, like, I like your attitude, you know? And I don't know, guys, I think that's it for the story, right? Or I don't know, was there something else you wanted to add?
No, I guess that was it.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I found out that I was pregnant. Yeah. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you think my next video should be. And subscribe to my channel.
And hit the notification bell so you guys can be always notified.
Before I was really interrupted, yes.
You guys want to be notified every time she's posting up a video.
Yes, turn on your post notifications, guys. All right, bye guys.
Bye.